What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chris Gunther Show. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure that you like and share this video. I would greatly appreciate it. On today's show, I am very honored to be interviewing one of the best players that, he was one of my favorite players growing up, seeing him come down on the fast break, leading the fast breaks, getting the dunks, setting people up. Without any further ado, let's welcome Mr. Lamar Odom. Lamar, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Good. First of all, thank you for taking this time out with me. I greatly appreciate it. You're a very busy man, so the fact that you give me this interview means a lot.
No problem, bro.
How are you doing? Like with all of this craziness going on in the world right now, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm safe. I'm happy. Healthy. So I'm pretty good. Can't complain.
I think it would do me I don't think it would do me right if I had you on here and I didn't talk about the current state of what's going on right now. We just saw Capitol Hill get took over by a bunch of, crazy people. And it just breaks my heart because I just believe in my wholeheartedly. If that was one of us, if that was one of our people, we would have got gunned down and would have got shot down. So, what is your take on that?
I think they was talking about that earlier. Um, but it just, I don't know. Man. America is just has a lot to overcome. America has to keep it real with herself. And I don't think she has when it comes to race.
I believe one of the most difficult things to encounter is America. And the reason why I make that comment is because we know that this country was built on racism. And this country was built upon things that were always designed to keep us down. And here we are 400 some years later, and we're still dealing with the drama and we're still dealing with the craziness. So
Yeah,
what if
because I don't think they've ever addressed it. Have they ever really like addressed what happened, how this country was built, how it was founded? I don't think they've ever addressed it publicly or even maybe with an apology. I don't know. I don't know how they would address it, but they have a lot of work to do.
we do? And, it just breaks my heart that here we are in 2020 and we're still fighting battles and we're still dealing with things that ultimately, you're right, should have been addressed back then. And I just hope and pray that one day we're finally looked at as equal compared to everybody else.
I mean, yeah. I mean, until they really unveil like what's their problem with us. You know what I'm saying? So it just it leads us just to assume on what the problem is, and it never gets fixed.
It's truly devastating, but I believe wholeheartedly that, one day things will get better. I just hope it happens sooner than later. So that's all I'll hit on with about that. But you actually are
Yeah,
on here today.
I hope I can see it. I hope I can see it. I hope I'm here to see it.
Same here. Same here. Like, I know I'm still young, but, one of the things I learned very early, even as a young man in America, is they don't want you to live to see the next year. So every year that, you live to see the next year is a blessing. And I just hope and pray that. And let's just be real. Like, when you young black in America, they don't want you to live to see the next year. Heck, they don't want you to live to see the day that you live in.
That's a fact.
But conversation that definitely still needs to be addressed and still needs to be had, but that's all I'm gonna hit on for that. So, tell us about the book that you are re-releasing.
Oh, the book is just, I guess, about a story just about my life. A lot of tragedy, a lot of triumph. Talks about my championship years with the Lakers. My problem with drug addiction, which is pretty prevalent in my life at a certain point in time. How I overcame that through Christ, and family and friends. It's a really good story.
When you were going through the process of writing this book, was there anything that came back to your mind that made you say, wow, like I remember all of that perfectly, but now I have to physically write it out and open it up and talk about it?
Oh, you was breaking up when you asked that question. Could you ask it again?
Yes, sir. I was asking, as you're going through the process of writing this book, was there anything that came back to your mind that made you say, wow, now I really did not want to talk about it, but because it's here, I have to write it out and let the people see?
Now, you know what's so crazy about that question you just asked me? There was a story in a book that I had forgot about, that I wrote about the story, and it was about my ex-wife when she finds me in a hotel room with strippers and shit like that. And I had it kind of like I kind of forgot about it, that it really happened. And then when speaking to her about it, and she brought it up, she pointed back up to me. It kind of just reassured that it did happen. And I was like, okay, I just wasn't writing just you know what I'm saying, writing lies out there. But I mean, it was just me opening up about, you know, my life and experiences, just being honest and frank as possible, transparent as possible.
As you're opening up about your life, what do you want the readers to take away from this book?
That they can overcome anything, you know, if they put God first and family first, that they can overcome anything. Anything, you know, nothing's impossible.
When you were going through a lot of your struggles and your challenges, outside of Christ, how did you overcome those challenges?
Um, you know, just by betting on myself, always believing that I'm a winner, and I will come out on top. Um, I have really strong faith in just the people around me, you know, um, family, my kids.
Mm. One of the I
Basically.
I think something that, everybody I've talked to, they have addressed the fact that, their family has really helped them to overcome things and it has really motivated them. How much did your family motivate you even when you were literally fighting death?
Um, well, I think that's probably the reason why I didn't die. Um, because it's no way that I would want to go out and have my family thinking that I overdosed on drugs, especially when I didn't even do drugs that night, um, which many people really don't know. Um, and it's probably been a little while for me to even come to the forefront with that, because I did have a I was known for using drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I didn't even do drugs that night. So it'd be hard for me to make people believe that I didn't. Um, but my right hand to God, I didn't do drugs that night. And I don't think God probably wanted me to even go out like that,
Mm-hmm.
with that over my head. So I think that's why he spared me.
What advice would you give to those people that have been down the road that you've been down and they're struggling with their faith in God? They're trying to believe, but everything that is coming against them is making them try to believe the opposite.
That's a tough question you just asked me. That's a tough question you asked me, because everyone walks a different walk, you know, and everybody goes through things. Everybody has a different way um, that they cope and that they handle things. So everybody's walk is different. Um, I would just say, just keep on keeping on. Just know what you want in life. and know that you got to live a certain way to get there.
I think taking it one day at a time too is something that all of us have to do. I think 2020 showed us that if we just take things one day at a time, it might not necessarily get better over the course of years and years. But if you take it one step at a time, something will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lamar Odom on the Chris Gunther Show. Remember to like and share as I continue on with this interview with Lamar. Lamar, take me back through what was it like growing up in Queens playing ball there?
Oh, competitive, competitive, especially when you playing against dudes like Artest, every weekend, um, just battling. New York is known for its basketball history.
Mhm.
Everybody's proud, to represent New York and the basketball presence.
Would you say that basketball was your outlet to escape how crazy things were back then?
100%, 100%, all the way until I can remember when my mother died. All right, when my mother died, I was 12 years old, and I can remember the day like it was yesterday. I remember me going to the hospital and me seeing blood coming out of my mother's eyes and her mouth. Me leaving the hospital and my grandmother telling me that my mother was going to die that day. Got home 15 minutes later, get the call from the hospital. She was gone. And that day was like my first pass that I got, like stay out all night. And I just went to the park, just shot the rock all night. That was like the first time that basketball like really like embraced me in a motherly way.
Would you say the pain that you faced as your mother passed away, would you say that pain motivated you to become a better player?
100%. Because I remember always, know, always constantly telling her I was gonna get her that big house and get her anything she ever wanted. It was too bad she never got to see it, but it always kind of gave me that inside that drive. I mean, at 10, I was blessed because at 10 years old, I kind of knew that I was going to play in the NBA. And I think that's the blessing in disguise is when you know what you're going to do at an early age. Kind of gives you a path and direction.
It really does. It really does. And I think also the fact that, you grew a few inches since then helped out too, because a brother like me is only 5'7". We wish to play in the NBA, but I didn't skyrocket to go to 6'7" and 6'10", like some people just saying, but I digress, so you
Yeah.
had a phenomenal career, in high school, and then you go off to college. I want to say you played for, was it Rhode Island?
Yeah, University of Rhode Island, where I had to sit out 1 year, and I played the next year. And after that, I was drafted in 1999. I think the number 4 pick by the LA Clippers. Was able to play there for 3 years, and then went to Miami for 1 year. And was drafted for Shaq. Was traded for Shaq. In the midst of all of that, left Miami, go back to LA as a Laker. Which I'm probably the most proud of because the year that I won 6 Man of the Year award, I was shooting a reality show that year. So that took an enormous amount of focus, effort, and energy to get that done.
Yeah, it definitely did, but let's take it back to the beginning of your career. You, Darius Miles, and the crew in the early 90s, well, late 90s, early 2000s. You like, what was it like being a Clipper the first stint there?
It was cool. It was cool. What would I compare it to? It was like being an up and coming rapper that everybody knows is hot, but not really ready to give it to. You know what I'm saying? But it was a great time. playing with them dudes. I mean, we all had everything in common. We were all the same age. All had $1 million in our pocket. I remember going to the different cities. We get there, check into the hotel, and everybody meet downstairs, go right to the club, and go right out to eat. Yeah, we had a lot of we were all brothers on that team. Everybody was cool all the time.
It, it definitely seemed like, you guys had a lot of fun playing together. I think my favorite clip is, I want to say somebody had lobbed you the ball and you did like a reverse and you threw it up.
Oh, to
And
Darius Miles, right?
yeah, man, Darius Miles hit the windmill. I'm like, man, that looks like it would be so much fun to be a part of, man.
Yeah, our brotherly. We were definitely all close. We knew what each other was about to do, and for a young team, we didn't really see that too much. Too bad we couldn't really make a playoffs or anything like that. That would have been something.
But at least you were able to make the playoffs, when you went to the Miami Heat. What was it like playing there, especially with a young D Wade?
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I remember calling home about D Wade, about being impressed with him. I was like, he's like a point guard, but a two guard all in one. Yeah, and it was crazy playing with him. It was funny because I remember I was telling him playing like, yo, what you about to do is about to be incredible, man. I remember telling him that, he was just different. And I seen it really early. It was special playing with him. Even though it was only for 1 year.
Do you wish that you could have got a little bit more time to play with Wade?
Yeah, because I think we were on our way to a good playoff run. We made it to the second round just that 1 year. Who knows what would have happened? But fate is fate.
Because I remember, I think it was you guys were going against New Orleans, and he had at the top of the key, and he kind of breaks down Baron Davis, drives, and he hits the shot. I think it was over Jermaine O'Neal. And I remember the first guy that came running to chest bumping was you.
Yeah, that's a fact. No, we were really close. In Miami, the atmosphere and the camaraderie is really tight. All the way from Pat Riley all the way to the 12th man on the bench. Everything is family oriented down there, and it shows in their play.
From Miami, you get traded to the Lakers and play with one of the greatest players of all time, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe. What was it like for you to know that at that time you were really about to play with arguably the best player in the world at that time?
Well, I already knew Kobe and had a relationship with him through the AAU circuit, through some people that we had relationships with through Adidas. And so I hung out with him before and had a relationship with him. And I think he kind of understood me. He understood my ability. And as a person and a player, wanted the best for me. And we got it done. I learned a lot from him. My mentality, I definitely know what it's about. I practice it. And, he'll be in my heart forever.
Mine too, because he was my favorite player. And of course, like I'm gonna hit on that a little bit later. But in 2008, you guys acquired Pau Gasol. Did you know when you guys acquired him that you guys were definitely, on the run to make that you guys were definitely about to make a championship run?
So crazy. Well, everybody understands that basketball understands the how intricate the triangle offense can be, how difficult it could be. And I remember the first night that we acquired Pau Gasol, we were playing in New Jersey, and I don't know if he was watching tape or if he knew the trade was gonna go down or however it went down, but we put him in his offense, and it was like he was playing point guard from the post, like right away, like he knew it. And We were able to make it to the finals that year, and Boston put it on us a little bit.
I was so mad we lost to Boston that year because I remember when we had acquired Pau Gasol. First, I'm a Laker fan, by the way. I know I'm a reporter. I'm supposed to be biased.
Yeah.
Scratch that. I'm a Laker fan. This is, I was beyond excited. And when we got Pau, I'm like, man, we about to get this chip. And the thing that really frustrated me about that OA series where we were up, I want to say it was 17 in the third quarter. And then Boston.
What game was that? 5?
It was game 6. It was game 6 at the Staples Center. And I just remember Paul Pierce just went off. And I was so mad because I had him.
It was up 17.
Up 17 going into.
If we'd have won that game, that would have been one game away. We would have been working on a three-peat.
Sure would have, because we went, and I'm saying we, like I'm a part of the ball club, but we win that game, and then you would go to Boston and close it out in Boston. Like, what would that feeling for you guys as Lakers? What would that have meant to you to beat Boston in Boston?
I mean, Boston, I respect their fans, but fuck them, because no, seriously, they beat us that last game, like they blew us out
by 35, man. I'm still mad about that.
And they wouldn't even let us leave the damn arena.
Like you had confetti flying all everywhere.
They shaking the bus. They shaking the bus. They fans are shaking our bus. Would like not let us leave the damn arena, homie. It was real crazy. Like, what about if we would have won?
Oh, that'd have been so fun to watch. Like to watch. Because Kobe won the MVP that year, to have him win MVP and then win in Boston, and then you rub it in their faces. But at least
I don't know. I think that thing would have been like just like how you asked me what about if that would have been us that was attacking Capitol Hill? It kind of would have been that same kind of situation. If we would have won in Boston, that could have been ugly.
Definitely would have been, crazy, but hey, you guys went in 2009. You beat the Dwight Howard led Orlando Magic. For you though, with everything that you had been through, what was it like to win your first championship?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know if it was I want to answer that humbly or I guess that was just due to like manifestation of where I was at, where I always thought I would be as a kid, winning the championship as a Laker.
Mm-hmm.
Always thought it would be me as the point guard, but it didn't work out like that. But I mean, it worked out. Magic Johnson was like my favorite player.
Man, Magic. I think Magic, and with all due sincere respect to Magic and Kareem, I feel like Kobe's the greatest Laker of all time. That's just my personal opinion.
I mean, well, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yeah, so you wasn't watching the Lakers in 1988.
Nah, like I wasn't watching it. Like, see, my dad is a big Laker fan. Well, he's a basketball fan, period. So Pops had me, watch a lot of them. But I just feel like Kobe was able to do something during that time, man, where it was just like him against the world, and he thrived in it, and he embraced that. That's just my opinion.
No, I respect that. And the opinion is opinionated. I respect that. I can definitely respect that. But, it's argumentative. But I can see where you're coming from. I was on the court with him. So, you know what I'm saying? So, the man had 9 game winners in one season. Like,
which is crazy. Like, of course, I'm going to continue to, hit on, but you guys win in 2010 against Boston. That 7-game series. Take me back through that 7-game series. What was it like finally beating them?
It was intense, bro. That was really intense. I don't even think I went out that night after the game. That's how tiresome I was. I think I waited like a week. We was tired. I know Kobe and Powell had to be beat because they had a lot of offensive pressure. they had a lot of the offensive pressure, so I know they were tired. Um, I just remember being tired. I'm glad that it was over. I'm glad that we won. And I really wrapped it up because I woke up the next day to a really good gift. My ex-wife bought me a fan.
Hmm.
It was a good weekend for me.
I'm sure it was. I'm just glad that, the Lakers beat them in the finals. This year, here we are in 2021. You've already accomplished so much. Now here we are. But when did it really hit you that it was time to walk away from the game?
It's so crazy. I still kind of fight with that. But it's so crazy that you asked me. I think after I woke up from the coma, um, a lot of my natural basketball ability
Hmm.
was taken away from me from that. So I, I would say the thing, it took away my advantage. My advantage is my height, my ball handling ability. And I just don't really have the same coordination and all that to handle the ball the same. So I would say that's when I'm gonna call it quits. Because
Was it
it's
hard
part
to
of
walk
play like
away?
it in the big three. It's always gonna be hard to walk away because it's something that came so easy for me and it just gave me everything I've ever wanted. So
Mhm.
of course it's gonna be hard to walk away from it. It's like a girlfriend that you know you're not supposed to be dealing with. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not even going to hit on that subject. That's a conversation for a totally different day. But to
Yeah.
see where you're at now, though, is incredible. You're in a good headspace.
Mhm.
Basketball has meant so much to you, but here you are in the second phase of life. So, what can the people expect from you in this phase?
Well, for me to pursue excellence, for me to always put my best foot forward at whatever I'm doing, whether it's talking or just showing up, man, at my best.
What do you have coming out that the people can expect from you, including your YouTube channel?
Well, I just started this. I don't know if you know what Twitch is.
I do,
You do?
vaguely, but I do.
I just started that. I just started twitching, and my gamer tag is Lucky7Lefty for all the gamers out there who want to get up on Twitch and get that ass whipped and man or 2K, whatever. And it's so crazy. I never would think that today would people would be able to monetize playing video games or even get a college scholarship due to esports. That's crazy. So I'm just here and just trying to ride that wave.
Yeah, times have changed. Times have definitely changed. But I mean, hey, that's the beauty of life. Life is, forever changing and evolving. Speaking about evolving, let's go back to, the NBA for a second. Who do you feel in your prime that you wish you could have played with?
With
Yes, like in your prime, who's somebody that you wish you could have played with, but you just never got a chance to play with?
um, um, like in the NBA season, like a real NBA game.
Real NBA season. Like if, say, for instance, it's like
Oh,
two.
that's easy. Ron James, Steph Curry, James Harden, Greek Freak.
Man,
Who's that's doing
I
it
would
big?
have. I would have, man, you and LeBron would have been, whew,
Yeah,
that'd have been
all
scary.
the guys out there that I feel like I could, what I do would compliment them. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Whether it's them finishing or me finishing with what they put out for me.
Yeah, I could see where, that would come from. Speaking about Braun, you actually were his teammate in the '04 Olympics. Do you regret playing for that team?
No, that was the Olympic team. I always wanted to play on the Olympic team. I wish they would have played LeBron and them a little bit more. Now we could have went with the youth movement.
Yeah, because that had a young Braun, a young Melo. You were doing your thing. You had Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson, etc. I'm just like, man, all that talent.
We underachieved. Tim Duncan, Amari Stoudemire,
And
Carlos. That's
that was a young Amari Stoudemire too. That was before he had unfortunately started, like getting, hurt and everything. But that would have been nice.
Yeah, if the coaches could have found a way to use the vets and the young players at the same time, there's no way we wouldn't have finished with the goal.
I agree. Couldn't agree with you more. You know, coming to the end of this show, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lamar Odom on the Chris Gunther Show. Lamar, you've been through so much in your life, the ups, the downs. You know, you had a good relationship with Kobe. He passed away, but you're still standing and you're still here. What advice would you give to anybody that is going through difficulties in their life and they're just trying to overcome them?
Just be willing to fight the fight. You know, life is a fight. You know, you got to be determined to win the battle. Got to win your matchup. If it was basketball, you got to win your matchup. You know what I'm saying? The matchup in life, you got to win that matchup. That's it.
Let me ask you this before we jump out of here. Speaking about matchups, I remember when the Heat Big Three came together in 2011. Everybody was saying that they were going to be matched up against you guys. Was it frustrating not to make it to the finals that year to go up against them?
Well, for us on that run, it's always going to be frustrating to not make it to the finals. I think that's the year that we got swept by Dallas. You talking about?
It was.
Yeah, that was a tough year for me. That was the year I won the $6 million. Yeah, I would love to finish it up with a finals appearance, even though I understand it doesn't always go like that. But I think it wasn't about the Miami Heat, us making it to play against Miami. It was about us being the Lakers.
Do you feel that that Laker team could have beat them?
Yeah, me, Kobe, and Powell, Andrew Bynum, we could have been any team that was facing us, no doubt.
I believe it too. That's why I will go to my grave saying that if we would have played them that year, we would have beat them in 6. Before we get out of here, 2-part question. Number 1, who would you like to see on the Chris Gunther Show? And if you have any connect for them, could you possibly hook a young brother out?
Matt Barnes, and yeah, I can help you out.
Yeah, I would love to interview Matt. Actually, I reached out to him because I'm a big fan of All the Smoke. So I definitely hope Matt Barnes is watching this. Just help a young brother out, just trying to be like y'all.
Or even maybe Quentin and Darius.
Yeah, I would love to interview them, especially because they're on the Knucklehead podcast too, correct?
That's a fact.
See, a young man is a fan of y'all. I'm a fan of y'all. So help a young brother out. Before we get out of here, Lamar, if anybody wanted to connect with you or follow you, how can they do that?
They go on my IG, hit me up. Hit up what's Savvy Girl Entertainment, right? Hit up my manager, Savvy Girl Entertainment on IG. Look me up.
Got you. Well, nothing else needs to be asked, ladies and gentlemen. Lamar Odom on the Chris Gunther Show. Huge shout out to Savvy Girl Entertainment. Thank y'all for helping a young brother out. Lamar, thank you so much for your time today, man. Greatly appreciate it.
One